Hey Speechies, it's Sarah, and I'm back today to talk to you about the 4 major components of a successful speech therapy session. And I want you to get this download, which you can go through step by step and check and make sure that you're including everything you need to have a successful session. First thing is that opening. The opening of your session and how you're going to work with your student, introduce yourself, and establish rapport. This is potentially one of the shortest parts of the session, but it's important. It's extremely important for many students. You want to care about their day. You want to ask them how they are and make sure that they're kind of ready to learn before they jump into working on their speech therapy goals. Now, this opening can be longer for students that maybe are coming to speech dysregulated, and maybe they just had some kind of problem in the classroom and they're still kind of carrying that baggage right into the speech therapy session. So this is where counseling skills come in. Now, for other students, they just want to get going. They're ready to tackle those goals. You know, you got those worker bee students. You jump right in. Number two refers to making some kind of goal statement. We're going to remind the students why we're here. Today, we are working on answering WH questions after a story. Or you can say, today we're going to work on that speech sound that we've been working on. Do you remember what speech sound we've been working on? It's never a bad idea to ask the student if they remember why they're coming to speech, because we want to kind of, even in our therapy, even in our first therapy session, talk about why we're there. It's not just play, it's not fun. I mean, it should be fun, but there's a real purpose to what we're doing so that once we meet that goal, we can dismiss. Not every student really has the comprehension for why they understand why they're coming. It's probably still good to say some kind of potentially watered down goal statement, just so you're on the same page. It could be, we're working on our talking, kind of vague, or you could be extremely specific and state the goal right off the IEP. Number 3, the activities. And it's probably the biggest part of your speech therapy session. So it's going to be potentially one activity for certain students. You know, those students that, there's maybe one thing they like. You're going to work on your goal. And actually, I found a lot of students don't get bored and they'll request the same activity. Other students, you're going to want to have potentially up to 3 activities for a 30-minute session. And it seems like a lot. It's really nice to have those backups in case they get kind of sick of something, you need to change it up. One thing I should say is that we need to think about both data collection and how we provide feedback to those students. So you would be taking data, potentially you're the kind of person that takes data every day in kind of a subtle kind of way that doesn't distract from the therapy. I find students get so off track when they see me writing. So I have to sometimes be careful for certain students. And for those students, you would do like a progress monitoring maybe once a month to see how they're doing if you feel like the data taking process is distracting from the actual work. And then we also, when we're talking about the feedback we're giving to the students, we want to be specific. So placement cues for our TIC, a simple good job isn't always enough for them to know what they're doing right and what they still need to work on. Number 4. So the last part of the session is the ending of the session. And sometimes this can be extremely short, could be a little longer. You're going to want to make some kind of statement about how they did. So you'll say, hey, Joey did a great job today answering questions or producing your S, whatever that might be. Then you're going to want to kind of suggest some kind of carryover activity. So it'd be like, hey, Joey, this week I want you to think about your S sound when you read a book and you see an S in the book. That would be a great way for Joey to start to become more aware of his speech sound outside of speech. Any kind of informal carryover activity is good for a lot of students. Sometimes we have those students who really aren't ready for homework. So that kind of thing, suggesting a carryover activity or some kind of informal homework, as in, hey, Joey, come back next week and tell me an S sound that you heard and you practiced on your own. Hopefully they'll come back to you with something. It's okay if they don't come back with a homework, but you have made the effort to make a connection with their typical daily lives. And that's how we make progress, and progress comes about. Click the link below so that you can get this download emailed to you directly. It's called A Successful Session Step by Step. Thank you so much, and I will catch you later.